welcome everybody to Thursday night. Time for another episode of Thrifty Business. I'll be your host tonight, Jason Thrifts Moss Isley. How the heck are you, everybody? Well, tonight is an epic night for many, many reasons. It's actually episode 25 of season 8, and I do 25 episodes per season, so this is the season finale, if you will. Although we'll be back next week for the beginning of season 9. And it's the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. And so tonight is our third board meeting, third or fourth, where we get a group, a like demographic group together of people that have a common, I'd say interest, because we had single moms on before, but like a common demographic. And tonight we're talking Star Wars geeks. And I've said that lovingly because I've been one since 1977. So let's say hello to our guests here. Let's pop all them in here for a second. Hello, gang. What's happening, everybody?
Hello.
Hi.
All right. Let's hope. Hi, Lisa. Can you hear us?
There.
I can hear y'all now. Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Yay.
Yes.
All right.
Yay.
So here is our
Yay.
guest, Dan, Jess, Lisa, Hibiscus Pizza, and Vicky. And Vicky, you are on mute, just in case you didn't know. And each week we drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug. Oh, I probably should have run the I got so excited we're doing this show, I forgot what I'm supposed to be doing. Now it's time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug and try and match it up to my guest. All right, so tonight, in honor of all you guys, I actually made a cocktail. It's called Greedo in Paradise. And I made one for me and my wife, so it's in my Millennium Falcon.
Oh,
Nice.
Yum.
very nice.
Cheers.
Woo.
There
Ready?
we go. And it is very, very blue green. There it is. Very, very Greedo colored. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. I'll send it over to Stace, who's sitting next to me. There we go. Made with rum barbancourt. Very yummy. All right, Dan, what are you drinking tonight?
So straight from Batu and the Black Spires, the Diet Coke version, it's in Arabic, in my
Nice.
coffee mug.
I love it. All right, Jess, what do you got?
It's like a Moscow Mule, but with bourbon.
All right.
Hockey Mule. I don't know what you want to call it.
In a Forbidden Island tiki mug.
Yes.
All right, Lisa, what you got?
Well, I'm double fisting it. So here we go.
There you go.
I am a dark side chocolate cherry martini.
Oh,
It's amazing.
All right, Clark, Darth, what you got under there?
I have a quarantini, which is coffee and whatever alcohol is available. Don't worry, they won't know that you're drinking it while you're on your next Zoom call.
And Vicky, pop yourself off of mute. There we go. What you got?
Got a little pog juice and rum in this one right here for us to get us through the night.
Nice. All right. Well, here is our crew for this evening. We're going to be talking Star Wars from both the selling end and the buying end, because here is 6 collectors. And if you're not a collector, even if you're not into Star Wars, if you're not a collector, which I don't understand, we're going to get into the minds of the collectors, because those of us who are really nerdy need 6 of one thing, because they're all slightly different. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So, gang, sit back, relax, and I'm going to knock out my segments, and we'll see you in a little bit.
all right.
Bye. All right. We'll do those in a bit. All right, real quick before we get going, I thought I'd introduce you to my newest child, and he is RPU6. Sure. Those are the fun things you can build when you go to Disneyland and the Galaxy's Edge, which we are going to talk about more in a minute. So let's get right to our segments as we do every week. Now it's time for our scores of the week. These are the items that you should be on the lookout for when you're out thrifting. All right, for my first score of the week, let me switch that to the thinner one. There we go. I was on my friend Tamara's show this week talking about Screen Star's Best, which is a brand of shirts from the late 80s, early 90s, and how well they sell for any kind of thing. And then boom, the next day I sold the only one I had for sale. And as a little added bonus, this is the tag you're looking for. So if you ever see the Screen Star's Best, they'll be made in the USA. They'll be 50 cotton, 50 poly. And really, no matter what it is, people are looking for it. Of course, some subject matters will sell for more than others. This was for military vehicles. So kind of weird. So that was my first score of the week. And second score of the week was this one of the fanciest crew, literally crew shirts for a tour. Usually they're t-shirts. This is the only time I've ever seen Dickie shirts with the bands on the tour embroidered on it. And I actually bought two. So the guy worked two different summer tours for Motley Crue. And this one sold for $84. The first one sold for $100. Found these at Buffalo Exchange for I think about $10 each. All right, I'm going to pop myself here on the screen. Have any of you, all right, seen a record player this tiny? I am a big fella, but I'm not that big. So this is very tiny records. They're 3-inch records. Here they are. So the other night I am cleaning through my CDs I need to sell, and this Beastie Boys 3-inch had fallen in there. I think I bought it for myself. And I thought, wonder if this went up in price. I paid $10 for it. Yeah, selling for around $50 on the average. So sold mine for $46 in about 2 days. So keep your eyes open for weird things like 3-inch records. And then not kind of Hawaiian. I mean, it's Hawaiian-ish, but I just wanted to share there's all these cool vintage dresses out there. Sold this one for $70. But man, when you have, yes, that really play. The record player does really play. When you have a mannequin with arms, it really helps, especially when you have something cool like this with the one shoulder bare and the other shoulder kind of covered. If you can find a mannequin, especially with articulated hands and arms, it really adds to the look of your stuff. Where is it? Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, where is it?
He's looking for his special effects, people.
Yes, oh, there it is. There we go. Now it's time for CD and cassette scores of the week. And as always, we start out with Flippin Cassettes first. All right, that was a little awkward, but hey, we're back. Okay, so sold a couple good cassettes this week. Kid Rock, The History of Rock. The unique thing about this cassette and the CD version, there are songs on there that were on 2 of his CDs that they lost the master tapes to. So they'll never, ever be released in full again. So the one of the albums was called Early Morning Stone Pimp. So that's why I put that in the title, because to get a couple of the cuts off of Early Morning Stone Pimp, you got to buy this. So I sold this one for $12.59. And I sold this Dwarves cassette, which I did pay $5 for. I did sell it for $18. So if you are not looking at the cassettes yet, you're still leaving a ton of money behind. And now from Flippin Cassettes to Flippin CDs. Hold on, let me zoom in the Millennium Falcon over here. Mm-hmm. This was good in theory, but I'm like, I got to keep picking up a bowl all night. All right, so this is 2/3 of ELP, or Emerson, Lake and Palmer. They added another guy, Robert Berry, and they called themselves 3 and put it up, sold it within about 2 days directly on eBay UK for $27. Picked it up for, I think, $2 or $3. Always want to share when I sell on different platforms. I picked up these Beatles CDs at an estate sale for $20 for the set of them. And these are before they remastered them. So they're not the best sound quality, but I thought, okay, at Walls at the estate sale, I thought, all right, I got all these Beatles. If I put them together in a lot, even though they're not the remastered, I bet I can get a good amount of money for them. And I had them on Mercari for maybe about 2 weeks. Sold them for $70. So there is a theory, a good theory to lot things together that may not be worth it by themselves, but in a nice big group can bring you some decent money. All right. How many of you are old enough to remember The Outer Limits? Paid $6 for this soundtrack. Sold it for $95. Now, if you watched last week and the week before, $100 CDs have all suddenly become the norm. It's a good norm to have, but $100 CDs have been every single week. So when we're allowed to move about the country, get out there, start finding the CDs, take my Flippin CDs and Flippin Cassette courses, and start making some of this extra money. All right, now I want to talk about this sticker off of this CD I thrifted. I have it backwards because you'll see in a second. The first time they tried to price the CD at the store, it was $19.99. And then they just slapped another sticker over it when it didn't sell for $14.99. And then another sticker over it when it didn't sell for $8.99. And then the final sticker, which is where I bought it, for $5.99. And then I sold it for $120. And I loved Vicky's reaction in the back room there. So even at $20, you would still make obviously good money. But at $20, they probably gave the customer $5, $6, $7. So when they sold to me for $6, they lost $1. And then I just know how to sell it better. And this came from a CD store. So people always say, oh man, how do you find all this stuff? CD stores know what they're talking about. No, they don't. I know much, much better. $6 into $120. Woohoo! All right, now it's time for... But wait, there's more. Hold up. It's time for Stacey's Budget Bin Scores. While I'm hitting the regular section and the thrift stores, Stacey's in the budget bins picking out cheapies. And this Mortal Kombat was $1 and it sold for $14. And again, if you've been watching every week, all of Stacey's dollar CDs, a lot of them are like $13 to $15. And so, like, I'm in there working the regular section. You got your partner in crime working the budget section. She pulls out $20 CDs for $20, and they all sell on average for $15. That is a nice added bonus to the bottom line. So when you start hitting those record stores, most all of them have a budget bin. So make sure you check out the budget bin. Now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. Okay, I am always happy to share also when I mess up on CDs, because for whatever reason, I thought this Jackie Leonard CD was worthwhile. I paid $2 and sold it for a whopping $4. That's not how you should do it. Once you take out Amazon fees and time to list and clean and ship, yes, I lost my time and money. Don't be like me. And all right, so who is a fan of zombie infection? I don't even know what it is. But I picked these up at Savers. They were given away at a Comic-Con. I thought someone would love these. I got 5 of them. If you want them, I will send you all 5 for like $10. Hit me up, because I have 5 available. It's been listed for over 2 years. I still have 5 available. Okay. So yeah, it was not meant to be. But if this is something that, if you like this game and you want some gift bags, I'll take care of you. Sorry to send your cat a scurrying. Now it's time for Where in the World Did Our Stuff Go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers. All right, these shoes were on a hell of a journey. These are Italian tennis shoes that I found. There are 2 Savers in the ghetto in Vegas here. I found these at one of those. So it went from Italy to the ghetto of Vegas, and now it's on its way to Uzes, France. U-Z-E-S. Uzes, France, en français. So it's a hell of a journey these shoes have been on. Europe, Vegas ghetto, back to Europe. So that's why you should always be listing internationally, because you'll never know what you're going to find that someone needs somewhere else in the world. Now, if you remember from last week, I sold some Reebok shoes last week. These were in the glass cabinet where the good stuff is on the same day. So I picked up those Reeboks for $15, and I picked up these for only think like 10 or 12, and sold them directly on eBay Europe for $89. Are you noticing your international packs are taking a lot longer and customers are complaining? Yes. And I even had a customer open did not receive. And I said, please be patient. Things are running really slow right now due to the coronavirus around the whole world. They were nice enough to close it and tell me, yep, it arrived. So it took 6 weeks to Europe, but it's cool. Customers have been pretty cool, so no real complaints. All right. Now it's time for You Have Got to Be Ship Me. What to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping. All right, who watched my Tiki mug unboxing video yesterday? If you didn't, it will be up on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow morning, so you can watch it at your leisure. I ordered this very rare, worth a lot of money Tiki mug right here, and this was a first for me. Now, I've had mugs wrapped in grocery store bags, trash bags, newspaper, actual scraps of garbage, but I have never, ever had my mug wrapped in Ziploc bags, and not just a couple, 61 Ziploc bags. Now, don't think they were blown up like air pillows. They were just 61 Ziploc bags in there. Cost way more than bubble wrap would have for that mug in the box. So thank you, seller. I have now 61 Ziploc bags that I could use in my eBay business when I'm putting little things together. So yeah. Chris is my buddy who I receive packages for, lives in Canada. I ship them on to him, and we've had laughed quite a bit at what people have used to pack breakable mugs. This was a first for all of us, Ziploc bags. All right. Now it's time for the Thrifty Tips of the Week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you are outsourcing. Oh, whoops. I was drinking my drink. All right, so this will not delve into a political discussion or is it right or is it wrong discussion, but things are opening. Some near you, some are already open, some coming soon. So my thrifty tip this week is if you're going to go out and go sourcing, go to the website of the places that you like to source and just double check, because you're going to see if they're open. And as you can see, Buffalo Exchange here is only open in a few of them right now, not all of them. And if they have, well, not if, they all have new rules now. And they'll all get it on their website, but go to the Facebook for the businesses too, because it is quicker and easier for them to update Facebook. So check it out before you leave, because it would stink to drive across town to find out, oh, nope, they're not open yet. Because like the Goodwills are open here, but Savers isn't. So it would stink for me to drive across town and be like, oh, I forgot to check if Savers is open. What's your favorite software that you use for eBay sourcing that shows item value, sale frequency? I only really scan on the Amazon app for when I'm scanning music. And then everything else I pretty much know. If it's something I don't know, I will look it up on eBay Solds real quick in the field. But I don't buy, stuff doesn't really cost all that much in thrift stores. So it usually isn't too much of a gamble. All righty. Yes, I saw Debbie score today. Crazy. Now it's time for our online selling tips of the week. Doesn't matter if you're selling on Depop, Etsy, Mercari, eBay, or Poshmark. Here's some little tips and tricks to help you out when selling. Okay, it's a weird time right now. Not everything's going as traditional. So here's my little tip. This is a Facebook group called the Trader Sam's Mug Trading. It started at Trader Sam's is the Tiki Bar at Disneyland and Disney World. The group started that, and then it expanded out to a little bit more to even stuff like, Star Wars Tiki mugs. And then it expanded a little bit more. But it's one of the groups I hang out in every day, multiple times a day. And I saw this person say, does anyone have a mug of any kind extra they'd be willing to part with for a low amount? We have none. I'd want to give my wife one for her birthday, please and thank you. And then I said, yeah, sure. I got all kinds of extras. And then I found out he lived here. So I said, hey, what color is your wife like? And he told me. And I go, oh, I got 2 mugs right in that vein. He came by, stayed in his car, brought them out to him. Easy peasy. So, we all sell on eBay. We have all tried Mercari and Posh and Etsy. But make sure you're checking out specialty Facebook groups, because a lot of times there are people looking for things that you got. And if you can just strike a deal with no fees, oh, hallelujah. That's the promised land right there. Now it's time for Unseasonably Sold. What did you sell out of season? Okay, here we are, 4 days before Memorial Day, the official start of summer, and someone thought this week, you know what I need? I need the Big Bad Voodoo Daddy early Christmas CD when they're on an independent label. That's what I need. I've said this many times. I love Christmas music, but I have never once on the verge of Memorial Day weekend thought, you know what I need right now? Christmas music. But luckily there is someone out there that needed it, and I have it listed. So keep listing your Christmas stuff and your Halloween stuff and your Easter stuff all year round, because you never know when something's going to strike someone's fancy and they're going to want to buy it. All right, a little bit of housekeeping before we get the gang back in here. Thanks to my friend Angelique. I don't know if she's in the chat right now. She said, hey, I got an idea. And I said, I love that idea. So the idea is I've stared at this ish long enough sale. So in the thrifting board, we have a post the item that's been for sale the longest in your store. And then the rest of us are going to look around. Maybe we need something. I've seen a couple sales already just because no one found it on eBay or Poshmark or wherever. Doesn't mean that someone on the thrifting board isn't going to need it. So in about a day or so, I will start the new post. Hey, what'd you buy from that sale? So go check out that. Post your oldest item and look around. Help out a fellow thrifter move their oldest items. Just a fun little exercise. And hey, you got what I need. I got what you need. It's a lot of fun. Apparently, hey, there she is. Apparently, no one wants the awesome messenger bag I've had listed for 3 years. So that's a dud. You'll see that on the duds again very soon. Tonight, we do social media share threads in the group, and we do bonus threads at night. Tonight, we have a theme of Star Wars in honor of this show tonight. So if you've done the social media share threads, come on over and do it again, obviously. Share your Star Wars stuff. If not, tonight's a perfect night to start. Tomorrow night for the Secret Beachcombers, Sabrina Cornelius is our store review of the week, and she has a problem. Everything she lists, she keeps selling. I'm like, what an awful problem to have. So she goes, yeah, I'll have some things up, but she goes, yeah, I keep listening, they keep selling. I'm like, well, good for you. So tune in tomorrow night, 7 o'clock East Coast. All right, since thrift stores are opening and mom and dad actually might be venturing out to a thrift store tomorrow, on Sunday, we are going to do the top 10 thrifting tips to stay safe when you're going back out thrifting in this new world. And if you've been watching, mom's been uncovering stuff she thrifted a long time ago. We've been uncovering them and having a blast. And so last week we started with some collection of 45s that she found, and dad had a collection he found too. So we're going to continue on with that. So more shenanigans like that. And we'll talk about thrifting in the new world era. And then next Thursday, right here, same time, same channel, Thrifty Business, my boy Lonnie Oscar, the rock and roll rock star that he is. We're going to be talking flipping posters. And good thing is I have a I have a ton of posters to sell. So maybe this will be the jolt that I need to get off my butt and get them listed. So that's what we'll be talking about next week. All right, let me get prepared for this. Ta-da. So thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. And we're going to get our crew up here. Where is it? There we go. All right. Oh, mom's got more records to dig out. Yeah, I think we'll be doing records for a couple. We did t-shirts for a couple of weeks, and now we'll be doing records for a couple of weeks. So that should be fun. All right. Here, take that off, would you, hon? My mom's thing. Yeah. Here we go. There we go. I wish this had sound, but hey, what the heck? We'll make do. Oops. Who did I put in? Put in Stacy by accident. Let me get Clark in there. All right. Hey, Warp Speed, here we are. What's going on? Clark, where's your mask? You're helmet.
It gets really hot in there, guys. Super hot.
Hey, Vicky's a trooper. She's got on furry. Now, is there feet in those too?
There are not feet. It's
all
just
right,
a hoodie.
Your toes are open.
Yep.
Oh, I see a little BB-8 behind Lisa there. And Jess has nothing to do with Star Wars, but Jess has the most bitchin' lamp right there. Hey, Jess, can you show us your lamp? Just angle your camera over there a little bit or put your lamp over. Because look at that. Look at that Panther awesomeness.
That's dope.
What'd you say, Stace?
Angle.
So cool stuff. So thank you everyone for being part of the panel tonight. Thank you all for tuning in live. And we're going to talk Oops, there we go. Let me get that up there. It's our third or fourth board meeting, Star Wars Geeks, and we are all Star Wars geeks. So let's go around the room here and just give a quick like who you are and where you are. So we'll start with Jess, and we'll go around. We'll go Brady Bunch style.
My name is Jessica, or Jess, whatever, and I live near Oakland in the Bay Area in California, and I've been selling on eBay since 1999.
Nice. Oh yeah, yeah. I had that written down, but yeah, let's everyone know how long you've been selling. All right, Vicky, you're up.
Great. So hi, everybody. My name is Vicki, and I'm in Southern California in Orange County. And I also have been selling on eBay since 1999.
Hey, Vicky, does your droid have a name?
He doesn't have a name yet.
What?
I know.
I mean, not only does mine have a name, mine also has a logo. Thank you, Nadine. There's my logo right next to Vicky's head.
Might I suggest hibiscus pizza?
Possibility.
Hibiscus pizza, get over here. All right, Dan, where are you and how long have you been on eBay?
Hey, I'm in the San Diego area, and I've been on eBay since 1998.
And then our youngster online selling, Clark.
Yeah, 2006, I guess, would be an eBay start for me. But, you know, I've been online since, well, 1998.
And where are you, Clark?
In my office. Oh, I mean, in Phoenix, sorry.
Yeah, I saw that coming a mile away. And Lisa, last but not least.
Well, I live in the armpit of Texas. So I live in a town called Lumberton, which is about 100 miles east of Houston. And I've been selling on eBay since 2002.
All righty. Well, welcome, everybody. Thanks for being on. All right. So what I did was I came up and I didn't prep you guys because I wanted to kind of just on the spot answers. I came up with 5 questions for Star Wars fans. So my first question is, how old were you, or what year was it when you first discovered Star Wars? Because I'm not sure if you all started with A New Hope in '77 or if you started later. So we'll start with you, Dan. When did you start?
I was in LA visiting with a friend of mine for the summer in July of 1977, and I was there. I saw Star Wars. I got in line at Grumman's Chinese Theater.
Shut up.
And I stood in line for 2 hours, and I was in the 4th row, and I got to see Star Wars the very first time, and it was awe-inspiring. So that was my introduction. Now, I wish I went out with, about next year when they started making toys and went out and bought toys, then I would really been happy about it. But yeah.
I didn't know we were going to have a Grauman's viewer. I would have ended with you. That's a heck of a thing. I'm going to tell you, I saw mine in my, I think it was my grandparents' car at the Mayfield Road Drive-In in Chardon, Ohio. So the opposite of Grauman's Chinese Theater. They would show porn 2 weeks before the regular season. So that's where I started my Star Wars viewership. How about you, Clark? Where'd you start your love of Star Wars, or when?
So for me, I come from a fairly small town in Western Washington. So my mom took us and the other kids 30 miles to the nearest theater. Of course, my mom was late. But the first thing I remember is sitting in a theater at 8 years old, seeing the doors open and Darth Vader comes in. My brother whispers, "That's Darth Vader." And I've been hooked ever since.
So what you're saying is you came to the dark side.
Oh.
Cookies and all.
How about you, Lisa?
First movie I ever remember seeing was Return of the Jedi. So I guess 1983, and probably the most memorable point was, Jabba the Hutt and the girl dancing around, and he drops her down into the ground, and that kind of scared me. So therefore, I don't sing in public.
Dropped her down to the ground for the Rancor. Oh, I got one of those too. How about you, Vicky?
Yeah, it was 1977. It was the original. And I remember I went with my mom and she hated it. And I just thought it was the greatest thing out.
Yeah, I was hooked from that moment. How about you, Jess?
I saw the first movie in '77 when I was about 7 years old.
Yeah, I was 6. I saw it 4 times in the theater. And up until that point, I don't remember seeing anything in the theater ever more than once. but I was so like, oh my gosh. And I think I saw it in Florida. We went to visit my grandparents. And I saw the drive-in. I saw it a couple other places. So yeah, from that moment on, and I started collecting right away because we did have the Boba Fett that you send in the proof of purchases to get. But of course, by that point, they were like, oh, we can't have it shoot that rocket because it'll choke little kids. I'm like, hey, this doesn't shoot. What kind of BS is this? It told me it would shoot when I cut up all my backs of my action figures. All right. So when you were a kid, did you have action figures? Did you have the toys? Was your basement full of them? Or was that a later in life thing?
That was later for me.
Later for you,
it was later for me. I mean, I collected all kinds of things. And I was because when I was about 8 years old in the 1960s or late 1960s, the only space kind of stuff, which I was really into, was Major Matt Mason. And so I had almost everything that was Major Matt Mason, which now I don't have. And now I'm going back and trying to find it. And it's like thousands of dollars more than it was back then. So it's something that Mattel made that one. But yeah, I just started about 6 or 8 years ago. Did I really get serious and start doing research and doing a lot more collecting? And I've always been a collector, so I have all kinds of collections when I move from one to another, but this is the one that stayed pretty much the longest right now.
What about you, Clark? You start right away, or?
I'm not like a typical collector. For me, Star Wars is a lifestyle, so it's not about action figures. It's about things that I could actually portray in my home. So if you take a tour, everything's like Star Wars this and Star Wars that. In fact, I'll show you kind of the stuff that I'm into. I bought this at Disneyland.
Let me give you full screen. Hold, please. Ooh, nice.
Wow.
And so the stuff is just littered throughout the house. I've got like a 3 foot tall Darth Vader floating around. And but for me, when I was young,
literally floating around.
Literally floating the Force. But yeah, for me, it was always comics, not so much action figures.
Yeah, I've got the comics, the original comics, but they're in my attic, so I'm sure they're ruined by now. But I read them to death, so they wouldn't be worth much anyway because I read them over and over and over and over.
Yeah, for me, it's tough to use.
Well, for me, it's, I have kids that are 11, 13, and 16. The youngest two are boys. And Star Wars is something that we can do as a family. We can bond over, and everybody enjoys it. I find it, if we can share a common bond, then that brings us closer as a family. And I like the themes. So, wholesome family.
And then when you look at the first three as a whole, you go, look, see, this is where Luke kisses his sister very passionately. And then talk about incest and things like that. All right, Vicky, is your back room littered with action figures?
It is not. I wouldn't say that I'm so much of a collector either. I'm more of I utilize it for decorating. But what I do have the opportunity in my family for is my brother-in-law kept all of my husband's original action figures.
Wow.
So we have this is just one of what we have in the collection that I brought out today. So I'm glad somebody in my husband's family was smart enough to keep all of the original toys.
And how about you, Jess?
I collected some when I was younger. Mostly a few little action figures, not a whole lot. But then after I got married to a fellow collector, we went a little crazy and bought all the action figures.
I had every toy from Star Wars, and I think we had everyone from Empire too, and a good amount from Revenge. Return of the Jedi, but we didn't have the Ewok Village. And Mom let me sell it all at a garage sale for like pennies on the dollar. and we had it all. We had the Death Star, still had the foam pieces, and in the trash compactor. So we had it all, and yeah, it all went bye-bye. So Mom's in the chat right now. Mom. All right. So my next question for Star Wars fans is, how annoyed are you when you watch the redone versions and Han shoots first?
How
nails on a chalkboard is that?
Yeah. I mean, the only good things that I liked about it is some of the additional CG stuff that they were starting to do in those, the second high def digital edition that came out. I like that kind of stuff. But when they changed the story, I mean, they try to force you to think something different. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
And so here's kind of a real good foray into collectors. If you don't understand, the movies came out, we loved them the way they were, and then George Lucas got a bee in his bonnet that he had to redo them the way he wanted them to be done, and he changed things. And so Han blows Greedo away just to get him off his case, and they're like, "Oh, Han can't be a cold-blooded killer. We'll make Greedo shoot first." It just changed everything, and it was horrible. And so, from a collector standpoint, there are some editions of obviously VHS and DVD that have the original. So that's what a lot of us were looking for, because we want to see the way they were when we were kids. I don't want any of this added hijinks where Han steps on Jabba's tail in Star Wars when he's getting ready to get on the Millennium Falcon. That's all crap. All right, next question. I'm definitely going around the room on this. I love this movie. I've seen it multiple times, and I am mad and shocked at the bad reviews and the fan reaction. And I thought there were going to be more, and then Disney said nope, no more. So, Jess, did you see Solo? Did you like it?
I did. I liked it a lot. I'd watch a whole movie with about Lando though, and his cape closet.
Absolutely.
That was
just a whole 2 hours of, should I wear this cape? Nope. How about this cape? Nope. How about this cape? Did you see it, Vicky?
I did. I loved it. Anything that's got Chewie in it, I love, though.
Lisa?
I loved it. I like, digging into the character and really getting to explore him a little bit more as the main character versus, just the backup man. So.
All right, Clark, I'm a little afraid.
Well, I rated it so low, I would advise nobody ever to see it.
Really? All right. And what about you, Dan?
Well, I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. To me, it was another piece of the saga in a way. It wasn't impactful like some of the other ones were, but I really enjoyed it. And I actually not seen it more than once, but I do have it on DVD. I watched it on DVD, but I only went to the theater one time to see it. But I enjoyed the story and the whole perspective of how how things came about for the future. So it's like, how did he get the Millennium Falcon? How did what's the parsec 12 parsec thing? What's that all about? What's all whatever. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I like that.
All right, so as you can see, 1 of 6 didn't like it. And that's fine. but the way that it was just beat up in the press, and it did big numbers. It didn't do $1 billion, but then Disney said, we're done with that. I'm like, no. I want to see more shenanigans with Han and Lando and Chewie. Come on.
Well, there's still possibility with Disney Plus.
Yeah,
they got the Mandalorian series going on, which is excellent. And
how do you know my next question?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I got to imagine that. All right. So question, and I'm guessing, do you all have Disney Plus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we all watched The Mandalorian?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone not like it? All right. Now Stace has not been like the biggest Star Wars nerd in her life, but she enjoys it, and she enjoys it with me because I enjoy it. Every week when the Mandalorian would finish, she'd be like, "Is it next Friday yet?" That's how much she enjoyed it. So a casual fan, I'll say, Stacey is. Am I right? She was so excited. So it's if you've not watched it yet, if you have Disney Plus, it's great. It's absolutely.
And the reason why, in my opinion, is because it's a very simple story. It's like New Hope all over again. It's like going back, not the storyline per se, but the feel of the story, the acting, everything going on it's just a real simple Star Wars story. And it's not, they don't complicate it like the movies do. The movies are just so complicated and fast, and you rush through characters and everything. It's like, oh, I'm lost. But this is such a simple thing. Now, I've heard rumors about the next season, but I'm hoping that they'll stick to the same. Same.
Now, the question that I have is it the asset, the child, or Baby Yoda?
Oh, It's
Get that.
it's the child. It's got to be the child.
So for those of you who haven't watched this yet, here's what's amazing about this TV show. Look, we all said yes, we loved it, we enjoy it. It's a show about a main character who you never see his face. He is in the helmet the entire time. And I looked at Stace about 2 or 3 episodes in. I go, this is an amazing show that we're so enjoying. And you never get to see, because acting is all about your face. It's all about your eyes and your mouth and your scowl. And when the dude's wearing a helmet the whole time, you're like, but we all enjoyed it. So definitely an amazing show. All right. So the Mandalorian takes me to, how many of us have been to either of the galaxy's edges?
Well, it's going in July.
Oh, no.
Probably
Jess,
not happening.
Jess, you haven't been yet?
Mm-mm.
And then Clark, that's a no, huh?
The closest I've gotten to Tatooine is my backyard.
It kind of looks like it, yeah. So if you've not been to Disneyland or Disney World since Galaxy's Edge opened, it's pretty amazing. Like, I knew what I was going in for, and I even Stace was like, holy cow, it's absolutely amazing. They every nook and cranny, every nut, every bolt, it's like you've walked into actually in the movies of Star Wars. And oh yeah, and what's unique as opposed to other Disney lands is the characters walk around just very naturally. So you look up and there's stormtroopers kind of looking down at you, and then there's stormtroopers on the ground and they're giving you a hard time. They want to see your ID. They want to know where you're headed. And so it's very interactive. And then at the end of the day, we've only been there once. I remembered that with the app, you can do things around the land that open doors and stuff. And I'd totally forgotten we were leaving. I'm like, oh, well, we have to come back.
You have they have the data pad app. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I want to bring up about that is I teased this picture in the thrifting board and said, all right, if you don't know what this is, tune in tomorrow night and everyone else give us some fake answers. So for those who have not been to Galaxy's Edge, they have the Mos Eisley Cantina with cocktails. That's the other bonus. Drinking cocktails in Disneyland. Yay. So this is the Rancor teeth. If you don't know what the Rancor is, it's this big old brute right here. And it's a beer flight. So it's kind of hard to tell, but if you look in front of the ones that are still in there, it says 1, 2, 3, 4. So they give you 4 different beers. And then, of course, you take it home, kind of like a tiki mug. And there's Stace pulling some shenanigans in the Mos Eisley Cantina with the Rancor teeth. And then I'm drinking out of my porg mug. Now, here's how much of a Star Wars nerd I am. And a tiki mug collector. So that's essentially a tiki mug. The drink that comes in that, non-alcoholic. I'm like, what kind of crap is that? I'm like, can I get an alcoholic drink? Nope, you have to get the drink that comes in it. And that was a fine drink. It was like coconut and Sprite and some other crap, but non-alcoholic. I'm like, but I still wanted my porg.
Which color milk did you have?
So I had the green milk. So there's the 2 mugs and the Rancor teeth, and the fuzzy tauntaun is the thing in the middle.
Yes.
It's an amazing drink. So when you all get there, panel and everybody else, if nothing else, get the fuzzy tauntaun, because there's something in there that makes your lips and tongue go numb.
That was the first drink I had. I went there and that was the first thing I had as I got that. And the waitress brought it to me and said, be very careful. See, they're all in character, right? It's like, be very careful. This has the poison of whatever in it. It's got, and you could be paralyzed. And many people are paralyzed. And I went, oh, ha, 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 that's cool. This is funny. And I take the first drink and my tongue was numb. Down my throat, the whole inside of my mouth was numb. I'm like, this is really weird. This is really weird.
And I started thinking, how do I get that for the home bar? I need to mess with people.
Is it served hot, cold, or lukewarm?
Yeah, it's cold. They're all cocktails on ice, but there's something in that foam that makes you very tingly, and it's pretty unique. All right, so I got an offer on Tiki Mug. We talked about this a lot. Trash sells, and Dan has one of these. This is the Diet Coke, and Sprite bottles you get in Galaxy's Edge. They're way less than normal. I think they're 10 ounces, and they cost like, what were they, like $6, $5?
Yeah, they're like $6.
But if you drank $3, $6, sodas, you then take your trash home and sell for $30 on eBay.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to look for the sourcing opportunities at every turn. And the turn is in Galaxy's Edges. Hey, get a Diet Coke, go home and sell the empty bottle.
The funny part about those is that when they started selling them and people were coming out of there and getting on flights going home, TSA wouldn't let them carry those in their luggage because they looked like a bomb. And so they wouldn't let them take, they were confiscating them from people initially. Then they finally changed it. Like a month later, they finally changed it. But people were like spending all that money for those bottles and they couldn't even take them home.
All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is fringe, not really licensed stuff. So, okay, we buy licensed things. This Millennium Falcon Tiki mug is very much licensed. So is Yoda. But Jess, do you own anything that is Star Wars, but definitely not licensed?
I'm not sure that I do.
All right. What about you, Vicky?
I don't think I do either.
All right. Lisa?
I don't think so.
Wow. Okay. Clark?
Can I plug?
Oh, absolutely.
So I actually make mugs. I think you know that, Jason. But this is let's see. There we go. This is my big seller right now, and it's Starbucky Bucks with a Baby Yoda, and it's personalized.
Very good. There you go. All right, Dan. I know you got to have something in that collection that ain't.
Yeah, actually I do. Now this is vintage, and there's a lot around. So Kenner was the original producer of Star Wars toys. So they were the ones that licensed most of the Star Wars toys. They had a factory in Japan, they had a factory in Mexico and in the US, and I think in Hong Kong and China. They had one in Hong Kong. So but other countries were like, hey, where's our kids? You know, the movie's going all around the world. There's all these, you know, unique posters and different translations of the movie. So they started making their own toys, however they could come up with. So this is the only one I have. This is and they call these bootleg. This is was this AT-AT driver, right? So this guy is. So here is the licensed Kenner version of it. I don't know if it's clear enough or not. This is the Kenner version. And then this is the bootleg version, which is, you know, a really rough mold. It's, you know, it's not smooth. It's pretty rough. There's no holes in the feet. Normally there's holes in the feet to put stands on. Kenner made them that way. So no holes in the feet. Not very articulated. Matter of fact, his arms, and I don't want to move them, his arms don't move. There's no joints that move. It's a solid rubber, basically. It's a hard rubber. And this was made in Poland. This is a Polish bootleg Star Wars figure that was made in Poland, and they're all over the place. A lot of countries made them in different formats and different molds, and some of them are just hideous looking. They don't even look like the figure they're supposed to look like, and they changed the names on them so that it would fit their language better and all that kind of stuff. So there is a big you know, niche for collecting those kind of things. They're very pricey. Most of those are pretty high end because they're very, very rare. They're hard to find anymore because they didn't really make very many of them as it was, and then a lot of them got lost on the way. So that's my unlicensed. Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
So here's something that I have that you know, definitely not licensed. This was a tiki mug fashioned like one of the coconut tiki mugs, and it was called Coco Fat. And so there's a little bit of look of the side in the back. So we kind of got the coconut action going on there. Made by a mug maker, Tiki Diablo, who I've been friends with for a long, long time. And when this mug came out, I thought, yeah, I'll buy two because I'm sure at some point I will sell my extra when it's really, you know, hopping. And that happened just 2 days ago. So the universe said, hey, I know you're doing a Star Wars show this week. Let's sell your one Star Wars mug that you have for sale. And so basically when this mug sold, mine ended up being for free. So there's all kinds of stuff out there. No matter what you collect, there are craftsmen and women out there who are making products, not necessarily licensed products, but, you know, they're leaving enough off and they're calling it Coco Fat, and, you know, they're leaving enough that, you know, Disney's not going to come bug them. So, or Lucasfilm for that matter. So keep your eyes peeled. If you're into something, it's cool to collect the stuff that's legit, but look for the fringe stuff too. All right, so let's talk a little bit scores and duds, and I got a little nugget from each of you that I want to talk to you about. And some of your scores were actual Star Wars things, some weren't. So Dan, we're going to start with you. One of the little things I saw in the notes that Debbie gets for me. Thanks, Deb. You sold a Jenko item to Jenko. I love when people sell products back to the company that made them. I've never done that, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah, and I tried to find a picture of that. I wanted to put a picture of that. It was like an Aloha style shirt that had flames. It looked like, kind of the guy would wear the big chains and walk around. It was like flames and black with flames. And I guessed it was from the 80s. Maybe it looked probably that was in really good shape, and it was an extra large, but it was bigger than extra large. I didn't have it up very long. I believe I sold it for like $80. And when I went to ship it, it was back to the JNCO Jenko headquarters up in LA. And I was like, wow, I wish I could get the backstory on this. I was like, is this going to go in their museum or something? Am I like supplying, supplying there? Because I've also done that where I've sold things like that to people that I suspect because they're clothing companies. I suspect they want to copy the original and make replicas.
I never seem to have cool addresses in my cell and the things I sold. Like I'm like, ooh, what's that going to be?
Yeah.
Let's talk about your duds here.
Oh boy,
what is that?
So that's a carburetor kit. So back when a lot of cars didn't have fuel injection and all that, they were just airflow gasoline engines. There was a carburetor kit. It's the replacement parts of a carburetor. They would rebuild it, put new springs and gaskets and blah blah blah. There was a guy in a shop. I was eating breakfast one morning, looked across the street, and the guy was having a garage sale. It was a repair shop, and he had piles of pallets full of stuff sitting out front. So I walked over there, and I'm looking at these because he had about 30 of them in a box. And they were brand new. Now they were for a lot of older model cars. There was some in there for, like old Willys Jeeps, and there was some in there for, 60s and model 60s and 70s and all that. This is a 79 Chrysler. So I said, this is cool. This is what I wanted to buy, right? But the guy looks at me, and the box is sitting on a pallet with about 50 carburetors. Okay. There's 50 carburetors sitting in these boxes on a pallet. And he goes, I can't sell you this by himself. You have to buy the whole pallet. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, well, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with 50 carburetors? So I made him a deal. I paid $75 for the whole pallet, and I'm filling the back of my truck with these plastic containers full of carburetors that weigh about 200 pounds a piece. And I was like, oh my gosh, get them in my garage, get home. And I start researching, and I don't find these anywhere. And so I've probably only sold, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 of these. But the funny part was those carburetors, I sold every single one of those carburetors. I made about $900 on all the carburetors, but the kits didn't sell for nothing. I mean, I could barely sell any of those things. And when I did sell any of them, they went overseas. They went to some other country, because I sell international all the time.
How dare you bring Star Trek in tonight?
Well, remember, it's a dud. Remember, it's a dud. It's under the dud category. Yeah, I mean, I always thought I like Star Trek. I mean, I was around that before Star Wars, and I happened upon a collector and bought a bunch of their Star Trek stuff, and I thought, well, there's got to be enough following for this. But now I got $12 on it. I'm sure if I made it a $5 piece, someone would scoop it up. I just have not been able to sell this. It's still sitting in my store, and I even have make an offer on there, right? So I figured somebody offer me something for it.
There you go, Trekkies. If you want to get a good deal. All right, let's talk about your scores real quick.
This is just, I think I found this on a Facebook sale, one of the, multiple auction sales or something. And I think I paid $5 for those. That actually, there was a set of more. That was these 3, and I think there was a Shell oil. There's about 6 or 7, and I paid like $5 for, and I split them up. And I sold those 3 gas station, attendant shirts. They used to wear uniforms, and this was what went on their uniforms and shirts, and I got $30 for it.
Nice. Nice old school jean jacket here.
Yeah, that's a thrift store find. Actually, it was a Savers. I think I got that. I paid about $7 for that, and it's in like perfect condition. It did take a while to sell, which was interesting, and it might have just been time of year. Nobody's buying when it's hot. You know, it might have been summer when I put it up, but I actually sold it for $60, so that worked out good.
What is this CD? I love
Okay.
CD. What is this?
You know, well,
Is this the chick from Jabba's Palace?
No, I listen to you. Okay, I do listen to your CD, advice, and I really try hard to try to memorize all this stuff. So I always go to the CD section. I'm always looking for the Christmas CDs. I'm always looking for unique things. Well, I went to a thrift store and found 15 of these Vietnamese CDs. They're all in Vietnamese. Matter of fact, the labels are all in Vietnamese. So I said, you know what? They wanted 50 cents a piece. I go, this is really unique. This is super, super unique. I do sell international. So, hey, maybe, and they're all from the 90s. They were like the late 80s to mid 90s is when they were all where I go, I don't know these people, but maybe there's somebody who's really into this and maybe they want it. I'll sell it for, $5-10. I'm only paying 50 cents a piece. So I did some research. Well, the problem researching is you can't type Vietnamese letters in eBay and find with the accents and everything. So it really took a long time, and after lots of different creative search entries, I came up with a few of them. And this particular gal, I think it's the one that's sitting down, was a super star. Now she actually died relatively young, I believe, and this was from I think 95 or 90s or something like that. But I got $60 for this CD. And almost all the other CDs that I sold, I would put them up for buy it now at $35. Some of them I put $40. Some people would just buy them right off. Some people would make me an offer of $25 or something like that. So I didn't get anything less than $20 for all those 15 CDs that I sent, and none of them went to any foreign country either. They all were in the U.S. So sold them all there. Oh,
that's awesome. By the way, I myself might have skipped that one. So.
Yeah, I took a chance on that, but 50 cents, whatever. Now
this is a Chinese throwing stars.
This is a very unique kind of a niche thing, and I'm a horologist, and no, that does not mean the study of the ladies of the night. That means they study clocks and watches and do repairs on clocks and watches, and so I have the occasion to go to other estate sales for clock and watch, repair people, and I go in their shops and buy things. So I was able to buy out a big chunk of a guy's collection in his shop. These were in there. So these are gear cutters. So if you just think of a clock gear, right? It's a round and it has the little spiky things. Well, this fits on a lathe and will cut those gears. It's what cuts those little teeth out of a gear. It's kind of, it all fits kind of weird in a lathe, but these things are, especially this brand, this is a German brand. And so I figured it out. I think roughly I probably paid about $20 for this set. And I ended up selling this. I listed it for $1,200, and I got an offer for $900 in Korea. And I shipped it to Korea for $9. Now that was probably the most scariest shipping I had ever, international shipping that I had ever done, because it took a long time for that to get there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to want his $900 back, and I'm going to lose my cutters. And I was like freaking out for like a month waiting for this thing to finally get delivered. So I got delivered. So yeah, I got about $900 for that.
Nice job.
Yeah.
All right, Jess, you were a peachy puff.
Yes.
Tell us what a peachy puff is.
We worked in nightclubs and bars and concert venues in San Francisco. And it's like a cigarette girl in the old movies where you have the tray. And we wore goofy little outfits with short skirts. And I basically carried a tray that weighed 30 pounds loaded down with candy and cigarettes and roses around in my high heels. And
yeah, I see those girls, but I'd never heard that term before. That was the first time I'd heard that.
There was a company, and they were in LA and San Francisco. I don't think they're I don't think they're active the same way they used to be now, because you can't smoke inside
Right. Yeah.
bars. So this was long before that. So it was another life.
All right. Now this is on your
development.
duds. So I'm guessing it's been just taking too long to sell.
Yes, I've had this listed forever.
It's a cool
I
shirt.
came on the thrifting board and I got great advice because I didn't know if this was a authentic thing, because the way the little the Walt Disney mark is on there, and everybody said, oh yeah, this is old and you should price it high and take offers. Nothing. It's been listed for a year and a half.
Wow.
Everywhere. I cross-posted this everywhere. Nobody loves Donald.
I love Donald. A little too
Makes me
small for me,
sad.
but I love Donald.
It's a little small. Yeah. Oh God, this thing.
Uh-oh.
When I picked this up, I thought it was worth a lot more than it actually is. I think I paid $3 for it. They used to be worth more, and it kind of got kicked around the house for a long time. It was always in the way. And when I finally listed it, I was like, oh, okay, well, it's not worth that much, but we'll see how it goes. Twice I sold it and had people back out. That thing when you have a thing that you're irritated with and somebody buys it and you're excited, and then they're like, yeah, I don't want this. So I took an offer of $20. So I did make a profit, but I was just happy to make it go away.
We've all had those items where like, oh, I just want you to leave now.
Yeah.
They've never bought you. But all right, those are your duds. Let's talk about your scores.
This has terrible photos in this listing, but it didn't deter someone from buying it. I must have paid maybe $2 for these at an estate sale. Somebody had made this set, and I don't think they were ever used. It was like they were just stored for a long time. And I just priced them really high just to see what would happen.
$100 later, there you are.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah. Really
They're
really
really
amazing
cute,
condition.
Wow.
This is another one that I've had for a really long time, and I think it's because it's very small. It's a vintage size 13, which is probably like a 5 now, maybe smaller, a 4, whatever.
But it's a
And
gorgeous dress.
The color's amazing. I mean, it's just beautiful.
Would you pay for it? Do you remember?
I'm really cheap, so probably not more than a couple bucks. Maybe $3. I'm really, and I did take a best offer on that. I didn't get the 95, but I think I got $60 or something.
Very cool. Hey, Star Wars flipping. Yay.
This I got for free. And
That's always the best.
right. And I had a fun little half hour putting it together to make sure it was all complete. This was so small, I figured I could do it, and sold it within a couple days of listing it.
Well done and unbelievable. So I said to Angela, one of the admins, lifeguard in the 13 board, and she's in the chat. I go, oh my God, we had a member of the thrifting board who had an Eddie Haskell shirt when he passed away the other day. What are the chances? And she said 100%. I go, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Someone had an Eddie Haskell t-shirt. I mean, she goes, oh yeah. No, I go, yeah, about maybe 3% chance, because who else has ever seen an Eddie Haskell t-shirt?
I saw that I've had this up in my store listed a few places for maybe since January. And I saw that he died when I logged onto Facebook that morning. And I went, oh, I didn't put the actor's name in the title on eBay. And I was going to go do it. And then someone bought it on Depop before I could even.
How much did it sell for?
$50.
Nice.
That's a super Depop thing. That is what you go to Depop for right there.
Very cool. All right, who's next? Clark is next. All right, Clark. So in your notes, I saw that you sold some clown shoes.
So yeah, clown shoes. So I had went to a garage sale. It was a friend's garage sale. This is a type of friend that usually is like, hey, just take whatever you want, just pay me whatever you want. So I found this like black suitcase, like an old wooden suitcase, and it had a clown suit in it. And the clown suit was exceptionally cheap. It was a set of coveralls with patches sewn on, and then somebody had rigged a mop head to be the thing, and it had some face paint and had a pair of shoes. So I'm like, dumb. And then I look at the shoes, and I'm pretty curious about those things. So I looked, and it said Jack Purcell. I'm like, Jack Purcell. So I Googled Jack Purcell. Well, it turns out that there's these shoes that Converse had a brand that Converse had bought, and they were originally made by a guy named Jack Purcell, who is a Canadian badminton expert. He's in like the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame for badminton. What he had done is he had gone to like BF Goodrich, and they'd come up with this type of insole that was super exclusive, and then it says Jack Purcell on the bottom. And if you have those two things together, you pretty much have some cash on hand. So for my little $10 purchase, I actually sold it to, they're big in Taiwan, I guess. I sold it to somebody in Taiwan for $420.
Now, I wanted to talk about that because not as impressive, but I stopped at one garage sale today and bought one thing, a whole tub of clown shoes.
Hey!
Jack Purcell's in there?
No Jack Purcell's, but a whole tub of clown shoes for $4. So
I would buy that. I would do that.
Oh, yeah. I go, hey, how much for your clown shoes? And she's like, $4 for the tub. I'm like, here you go. Bye-bye.
Take my money.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about your duds here. Yep.
All right. So first of all, there are no such thing as duds. There are super exclusive items that not everybody wants to buy, so they just take a long time to sell.
I like that thinking.
So this particular one, you can see at the bottom, Dolce & Gabbana. I did actually, and I don't often comp things because primarily 90% of what I sell, I'm going to go push it to like 97% of what I sell is clothes, and then there's 3% is stuff like this. So I'd comped it out, and it comped out at about the price that you looked at. The reason why I placed it as a dud is it sold. I had gone to a free shipping, which you can kind of see here. It's been switched to free shipping, or it was free shipping at the time, but I didn't go back and I didn't change my buy it now approval percentage. And so somebody got it for $20 plus shipping. So I think I ate like $4 selling this fabulous thing that I could have done right by at 37 very easily, but yeah, just terrible.
Maybe it's because your toes in the picture.
Could be. It could be. But honestly, if you go to my Poshmark or even my eBay, you will see that's probably not the most unusual thing you will see in my pictures.
Speaking of, it's like you teed this up.
So, yeah. So my thing, my gag, my milieu is to do some kind of interesting modeling to grab somebody's attention, and then hopefully the rest of the pictures hold them. This one I had pulled out of the Halloween selection at Goodwill, which is like one of my favorite times here from a fashion vintage viewpoint to buy. I pay a little bit more, but I get a little bit more. So it's a wash. This particular one, I had bought 2 of them, sat on it a little bit too long. Along came an offer for 17 plus shipping, and I was just like, okay. So a dud profit-wise, but for pictures, it's priceless.
Oh yeah, dude, this suit. Oh my. Oh my. Who?
This is
this still in fashion? Who paid $247 for this?
No. So this particular one, I'm a firm believer that while Goodwill obviously researches what they put out on the floor, they don't know everything. So this was actually priced at $200 in a Goodwill.
Wow.
So I just was like, hey, I'll see you on Dollar Day. So fast forward 6 weeks later, I walk in the Wednesday because I want to see what's there because I want to know what I want to buy the next day. And this was gone. Well, it turns out somebody else had hit it. We found it and we brought it up front, and they're like, this should be in the case. So they put it in the case for me. The next day I swooped in and bought it for $1.
Look at those skills. That's extra ninja thrift skills right there.
Stock your business.
These are some sweet boots, man.
These are fantastic boots. And again, this is one of those situations where Goodwill doesn't know everything. They are branded everywhere with Harley Davidson. But it's not like a typical like man style here, apparently in Maricopa. So I bought them. I cleaned them up. The military was at least good for one thing. And I think I paid $8, sold them in a couple of weeks for the price that you see on the screen.
$132. Love
Yep.
it.
So this is I really love vintage clothing, and you can see I probably don't follow any of the known rules that eBay would accept as a means of taking pictures or displaying anything. But I don't care. This is my life, not eBay's. But this particular piece I actually found when I was thrifting in Nashville. So the company for which I work sent me out there. What am I going to do with my downtime but go sourcing? And this one kind of caught my attention. And then one of the things that I do is I will bundle. So if you buy 2 or more items from eBay or from Poshmark, then you get 10% off each item. So this was 3 items. It was this beautiful vintage 2-piece skirt set. It was a car length fur coat from Sears and a Jam's World dress. And all 3 of those brands, by the way, vintage brand aside, the other 2 brands are good sellers in their own right. So I packaged all 3 and included free shipping for $180. I was probably in total about $10.
That's some left field stuff that I would never have thought to do, but I'm liking it.
If it's ugly, I will generally buy it. Ugly and vintage equals dollars. This one here was part of a 3-piece set. So there was pants that were size 16, a blazer that was a size 14, and a large, no, I think it was a size 18 skirt. And I bought it from a garage sale for $25. Since there was 3 different sizes, I sold 3 different pieces. I think the jacket went for $225. The pants you can see here went for $147. The skirt went for $25, but it had 2 holes in it. So I felt that I would value it accordingly, and I sold them within a matter of a few weeks. So if you find something that's St. John and knit, that's dollars.
Love it. I've never found St. John anything except for St. John's Bay. I find that all the time.
Yeah, no.
People tell me
the
that's
same.
no good.
No.
All right, Vicky, have you sweated to death yet?
I'm getting there.
All right, cool. So Vicky is unlike most of us. She does eBay for fun and a little extra money.
I do.
It's not a full-time job. I mean, I know some of the other panel have full-time jobs, but Vicky's just in it to because you love the thrill of the hunt, and I love the fact that you sold a Flowbee recently too.
I'm so happy about that Flowbee. It was one of those that had been sitting in my, I guess we can call them profit piles. And when the stay-at-home order hit, it was my time to get that Flowbee out and put it up, and it sold even incomplete and in a used condition. So it's pretty cool to be able to see that Flowbee disappear. Although my family is saying, "Why didn't you let us use it first before you sold it?"
That's one of my white whales. I have never even seen one like live and in person. I've never touched one. I've never seen one. I mean, of course, I've seen it online. I know what it does. But when all my friends find them, I'm like, I have never even seen one. I've never seen a friend have one. I've never seen anybody get a haircut by one. So
Marie's had sold 3.
Yeah, see, Marie, I've never seen one. All right, how is this a dud?
It's never going to go away. I acquired this at the Jujube headquarters. I knew somebody who worked there. Says, "Hey, we're having a company sale ahead of time. Why don't you come down? You can get some really good deals." Did some researching online. Found that these seem to have sold really well. Bought some other ones and were able to move them pretty quickly. This one is just not going anywhere.
It's cute.
It is cute.
Yeah.
You know, Hello Kitty. I thought it would appeal to somebody who's really into the Hello Kitty. It's just not sitting at trouble.
Stacey's over here going, have you tried Depop?
No, I haven't. And I wrote
Stacey's
that
learning.
That's a Depop thing for sure.
Yeah, see, Stacey's like, oh, that's Depop all the way.
Okay, cool. I need to branch out then.
Heck yeah. All right, let's talk about your good stuff, though.
Yeah, this was from my brother-in-law's effects, and we were cleaning him out. He would go to all the national parks and collected all these badges, and everybody else was like, oh, just throw that in the Goodwill pile. I'm like, no, that's okay. I'll take them. And I listed them, and I probably way underpriced this because it sold within an hour.
Oh, you always question those that sell an hour. You're like, oh, no. Could be just right eyes, right time, but it could be, oh, that was $10,000 worth of patches.
Yeah, I don't think it was that much, but I was just glad to see it go.
Did these shorts sell for $200, really?
No, I took a best offer of $149 on them, though.
Still, what?
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Yeah.
They did. So Lululemon, any of you who are out there know that it's a very popular brand for athletic wear.
Yep.
This one here in particular, Seawees, is their race that they do once a year up in Canada. So they come out with a limited edition merchandise just as a result of that race. I happened to stumble upon one of these. Jason, hold your tiki drink at the Lululemon outlet in Las Vegas. And purchased two of them, one for my husband and one to flip. And I probably bought it there for $30 that day.
Well done. Well done. Hey, what's this? Star Wars?
I know. Amazing, huh? Yeah, Star Wars. So this was another one of the purchases that I was lucky enough to find at actually I found it at an outlet. The Disney outlet when I was sourcing in Florida when I happened to have gone there for work, and I bought two of them. I bought one for my own personal consumption and one to be able to turn around and sell. So I was able to cover the cost of one that I bought for my own as well as be able to put one on eBay here.
And see, that's the whole point of talking to collectors. I did the same thing with that tiki mug. You do the same thing with a purse. So when the time comes and the smoke is cleared, the purse or the mug that we bought is free because we had two or more.
Exactly.
So, and that's how collectors think. They think a little bit different than the average person. Oh, what's this? More Star Wars.
Yeah, more Star Wars. So this here is a very recent sale of mine that happened during our COVID epidemic going on right now. This item here is a Star Wars Lego that was part of what my neighbor was selling at a garage sale, and he had a whole bunch of Lego sets. All of them had been opened and used and put together, and I asked him, how much do you want for them? He says, why don't you give me $30? It was 2 boxes full of them.
Wow.
So there was at least probably 15 different sets in between these 2 boxes. So I listed them as is with the minifigs because I wasn't going to count all of the pieces. And I've sold every single one of them that I had listed.
Yeah, that's one thing I've not found enough or at all is good Lego to flip. I must go to the wrong garage sales, have the wrong neighbors, because everyone always shares their awesome Lego flips. I'm like, I never find any Legos. I don't.
Yeah, sometimes you just find it in the strangest of places. So.
All right, we are going to end on Lisa, and first we're going to wish Lisa a happy birthday! Yay!
Hey, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! All right, Lisa, I got 2 things I got to ask you about. Because in your notes, I just couldn't pick one. I had to ask about both. So tell us the short version of why you started selling online.
Well, at the time I was working social work. We got married right after. We got married September 1st. Of course, September 11th happened. Well, come January of 2002, I had spent my whole paycheck winning stuff on eBay. And I'm like, my husband's going to kill me. So what do I sell? I sell my wedding dress. So it was a David's bridal dress, unaltered. I knew that my aunt had kept her dress. Her daughters never wore it. So I flipped it, got half price, and I was sold.
I got to imagine of all of us, I mean, I started because I got laid off of a job, but you were like, I bought too much stuff. I need to sell something. How about my wedding dress?
Yes, I had to save my marriage on the he'll never know plan. So.
I like that. All right, but here's the other thing I had to ask because I had a question about it. You won a mechanical bull riding contest. That's awesome.
Yes.
You won $100 and you put it towards a hospital bill. Was the hospital bill because of the bull riding?
It was so. I went to a college in a small country town called Sherman, Texas, north of Dallas. And if you didn't like country music or hanging at the country bar, you didn't have a life. So every Tuesday, I would go ride the bull, and there was a championship. Well, of course, final night of the championship, I make my 8 seconds. I dismount. I'm standing there, basking in glory, and the bull turns around and hits me in the face, knocks me unconscious. So ended up in the ER. I come to a country doctor. I thought I died and gone to hell. Guy looks like George Strait. And my $100 winnings turned into a $500 ER visit. So
yeah,
that's I still have a scar on my lip.
But it's a good story, though. That's a good story.
Now when I try to get on these bulls, people remind me of my famous ride.
Wait, you're still trying to get on the bulls? Oh, my.
I do, but I went all 8 seconds. I just need to be careful.
All right. Yeah, you're a champ. I get it. Oh, hi, buddy. Oh, a $3 item.
Terrible. So, yes, when I have a daughter that's 16, when she was little, Gymboree was the thing. You dress head to toe, matchy. And at the time, you would look for those collector pieces that you couldn't get at your Gymboree. Well, Gymboree eventually kind of grew, outsourced to China. Quality went down. Now, of course, they've gone out of business, and it's tough to give away these pieces now. And I have a lot of them. So that would be a dud.
$10. We're going up a little bit.
Yeah, this is, Talbots is usually a lot of older ladies or career women, I guess, wear Talbots. It's usually an easy sell, does well. But this one, I had it for a long time, as in about 3 years, and I just wanted to get rid of it. So I think I paid 50 cents for it. So it's not terrible, but I wish I would have got more than that.
All right. So where did you find this?
So the last 5 years I have spent, my parents are older. They're 87 and 92, and we liquidated their assets so they could go to assisted living. Well, now we are facing the same fate with my mother-in-law. She's young. She's 73, and we just moved her to memory care in January. Well, her house is like walking into 1970. So while we're going through cleaning out, of course, my husband and my sister-in-law, to them, this is trash. To me, this is gold. And this was a vintage Chanel tester. The powder never been used, never been opened. I added the perfume as a bonus because, in fact, I put a picture on the thrifting board to find out how to identify it. Somebody suggested Google Lens. I dug through, figured out this is a Chanel. It smelled like Chanel, but I could not prove it was Chanel. So I just listed that as a bonus item that they were listing on the powder, and they're hoping that I was right on the Chanel. But that sold $199.99, and I'm thrilled.
That's awesome.
So this is, y'all have talked before about selling vintage dresses, little girl dresses. And when I was in Dallas getting her house ready for an estate sale, I went to look at some estate sales in Dallas just to see what people get. And I walked into this one sale. They had all these little girl vintage dresses, paid $1 for it, bought a bunch of them. And they've consistently sold between $35 and $40. And then I also picked up some cookbooks at this sale, and those were really, really good items too. This item had stains on it, but people just don't care.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
So is this the cookbook from the same place?
So, yes, they had probably a bookshelf that was maybe 8 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and it was the end of the estate sale, and those books were free. And I was like, I'll take every single one of them. And I kind of feel bad. Hopefully they're not on here, but as I was leaving this estate sale, I saw somebody else that I had recognized from one of the boards who does flip books, and I took every book. But
as they're falling out of your arms, you're like, hey.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm sorry, but I'm very thankful. These have been selling very well. Like I said, I've got a ton of them, and they're all either church cookbooks, junior league cookbooks. But they're all consistently selling between some of them as low as 10, some up to 20, but I mean, it's just so many of them. They're easy to list, easy to flip. And I've really enjoyed selling them so far.
And last but not least.
And this is, again, another dress from that garage sale that I picked up a bunch of them. And, I'm just like, wow.
Yep. Wow, this is great scores. Debbie says first one there wins. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, I got one last question, but before we get to that, anything anyone wants to plug? YouTube channels, Facebook pages, your next haircut, what anything exciting, Jess, coming up?
I didn't.
I'll see you at Forbidden Island sometime in the maybe near future.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan. What about you, Vicky?
Oh, as soon as we get some opportunity to go out and dig through estate sales and garage sales, I'm on it. So look out.
Clark, I know you got a fun Facebook group.
Oh yeah, if you are looking for the weirder things in life, come look for Weirder Things. Is the name of the Facebook group, but it's a buy, sell, share board.
And it's weird.
Stacey's here to confirm.
Stacey says it's weird. I think that vouches for itself.
She's married to me, so yes.
I know weird.
What about you, Lise?
Well, I will plug the upcoming estate sale. So if anybody is in the DFW area, as soon as Garland, Texas will open up for an estate sale, we will be having one. So I'm hoping that is in the next 2 weeks. So like I said, if you walk into 1970, you're in my mother-in-law's house. Lots of treasures.
Or at least when you have that, let me know. We usually have a weekly grouping post for sales, but we'll do a big one for you. So let me know.
Awesome.
Let me know when it happens. And Dan,
Thank
what's
you.
on the agenda for you? Oh, you're welcome.
Hey, I'm a part of a collector group. It's a Facebook group. It's not mine. The Imperial Commissary, and all of Star Wars collectors. And since I'm talking to resellers here, we're on a campaign to not sell reproduction toys, not sell reproduction guns and ammo and whatever you have for your accessories for your toys. So because not that we think you're cheating people, where you could and you don't know it, because sometimes you don't know if it's a reproduction, but do your research on a lot of the figures that comes with the little accessories, and if you know that it's a reproduction, throw it away. We have constantly videos of everyone burning their reproduction items, because the problem is that you're going to have a collection, or you're going to have an item. I have a collection. If I put reproduction accessories with my figures, and then my kids inherit it and they try to sell it, they're either going to cheat somebody not knowing it, because a lot of people don't know it, or they're going to be told, hey, that's a reproduction, it's not worth what you think it is. And so you pass that on, and you're going to pass that on to other collectors, and it hurts the collecting. There's a lot of stuff on the internet available. There's a lot of pages and a lot of information on how to determine if some of those things are reproduction and whatever. So that helps. No repo.
All right, so Stacey and I are going to raise a little shot to you guys, because with the Millennium Falcon comes, grab that one, Tiny Han and Chewie.
Oh, cool.
So cheers to everybody. Thank you for being on the show. And let's end with this.
Ooh, there's a lot in there.
Yeah, there was. Isn't that good? All right, so we'll end with this. What of all the whole universe, what's your favorite Star Wars character? Dan?
Oh, you're starting with me.
Yep.
Well, actually, Boba Fett is one of my favorites. So he's kind of up there on the list.
All right. Clark, what you got?
I wonder who.
Darth Vader, of course.
How about you, Lisa?
I would say Leia, but Chewbacca lived in Texas, so that's a pretty big deal. So,
all right, Vicky.
Chewie.
I am not. That was a pretty easy one. And what about you, Jess?
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Ooh.
Nice.
Darth.
I would say I'm
it.
definitely a big Boba Fett fan, but for whatever stupid reason, I just love the Rancor.
Oh.
Stacey loved the Porgs, and so we'll end on this. I actually found, so that's the legit Porg, but I found a Porg and Pug thing. I'm like, what?
Oh.
Wow.
Who put this together for me so nicely? Thank you. All right, cool. So thank you. If you've not seen Star Wars, do yourself a favor. Watch the first 3.
And today is the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. So you got to watch that one.
This was not a plan. Happy accident. But
Yeah.
watch
The second best Star Wars movie ever.
Watch
Yes.
The Mandalorian. And if you got any Star Wars questions, here's a good panel of people that can answer your questions, especially when you're outsourcing. There is plenty to be purchased and flipped and can turn into good money. So good luck out there. Stay safe. And tune in on Sunday where Mom and I talk about the things that you should be doing to stay safe while we're thrifting in this new crazy world. So we'll see you on a Sunday at 7 o'clock. So thank you, Jess. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Clark. And thank you, Lisa. And once again, happy birthday, Lisa.
Thank you.
Hey, happy birthday.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next
Bye,
week.
everybody.
Bye-bye.